Hello my wanderers, this is Tom checking in for running 2 day 300 and just kidding. I'm not running 2 anymore. It feels weird to be checking in for a video blog that has nothing to do with running 2. Although I'm hoping to capture some of that whimsy, some of that spirit that characterized my running 2 adventure for, gosh, 282 days, over 26,000 miles. It took so much away from my time on the road, and it would be a travesty and a tragedy if I just kind of forgot everything that I learned on the road. Which brings me to here. We're in the DuPont State Forest here in North Carolina, my new home state. This is a waterfall. It's called the Falls here at DuPont. There's actually several waterfalls. I'm going to hike to another one. And there's also a really cool feature here, which I will get to later. I don't want to say it right now, because if I don't see it, then it's a huge letdown. If I said, oh my gosh, I went to DuPont and I saw the purple elephants that roam wild, you know, and I didn't see the purple elephants. Like, that would be a travesty and a tragedy. There is something else, though, that DuPont is known for, so I hope to see that, hope to capture it on film for you later tonight. So here I am, hiking a trail, hiking in flip-flops, because I remembered everything else. Before I left the house, I remembered the backpack that I'm wearing. I remembered clothes that I'm going to somewhere else to stay tonight. I remembered sunscreen and books and journals and everything else, but not hiking shoes or sneakers or anything like that. So luckily, the trails here at DuPont are very, very hikeable. You know, I could probably hike this thing barefoot if I wanted to. It's easy trails, very flat and gravel, and yeah, just beautiful. It's been crazy being back into a normal existence again, because what I did for 9 months was very abnormal, and I loved it. I keep telling people there wasn't really a time on that trip where I felt purposeless or adrift. Like, it seems weird to say that I would be on the road and homeless for 9 months and never feel adrift or never feel lonely or never feel like something was missing. It always felt like I was, in the spirit of the trip, running to something else. There was always another city, there was always another reader to meet, there was always another coffee shop to explore, another national park to check off my list. I mean, that was my purpose for 9 months, and so to be back in a normal existence where I am tutoring again, which I love, but it's back to normal, doing that, going to work, paying rent, living with people, buying groceries. Buying groceries was the weirdest thing. As soon as I landed here, like, that was the first reality check where I was realizing that I'm not on the road anymore, when I have to go to the store and get eggs and bread. Like, that was, it seems so silly and stupid, but that was horrible and that was rough. Yeah, it's just, it's hard to go back to ordinary when you experience the extraordinary. Not just in the places, but in all the people. I always say that it comes down to the people for me with this road trip. Yeah, to force myself to settle down, you know, and see the same people all the time and the same places and just do the same thing, it gets really stifling for me. I think I'm learning that movement, I mean, even this video blog is me walking. You know, now I'm going down a set of stairs leading to yet another waterfall here at DuPont. It's so intrinsic to my identity, and I don't want to lose that, you know. I don't think I ever want the quote-unquote American dream of, you know, being stable for the rest of my life and never going beyond my town's borders and seeing the same people every time. I think there's something to be said for stability, and I think to some extent I do crave a stable lifestyle, but maybe just not the same sort of stability that most people strive for. So yeah, I'm taking my life very much one day at a time, probably more than I ever have. Never know what today's gonna bring, never know what tomorrow's gonna bring. And all I have is this moment right here. Truthfully, before I left on running 2, I thought I would find a new city and all of a sudden, like, everything would click. I'd have the perfect community, the perfect place, the perfect purpose. I would have a job that supports my needs and fuels my desire for travel, and everything would just click and be perfect, because that's the way fairy tales work, you know. And I think what I'm learning, you know, after 2.5 months back in normal life again, quote unquote, is that life is still a journey. you know, one journey might end and then another one begins, and you got to start climbing. So in that respect, this is nothing new to me. Finishing one epic adventure and then going back to normalcy, or maybe monotony to some extent, but trying to find whimsy and trying to find joy in every moment. So I'm trying. It's not easy. There have been some hard days, a lot of hard days, but already a lot of good moments that I'm grateful to have experienced. I'm working on the book. For those of you that have asked me or been asking me or been excited for the road trip book, I'm working on it. I'm about a third of the way through my first draft, which is exciting. And I think it's going to be an awesome adventure to tell. I can't wait to put it out there. Alright, so this is a familiar sight, Tom on the road. I actually really wanted to video the thing that I was talking about last night when I was at DuPont in the forest. It was just way too dark and nothing would show up on my iPhone. I tried, but yeah, the big thing that I saw last night, which I did see, which was really amazing, really awesome. They were the blue ghost fireflies. There's this thing, and they only exist, as far as I can tell, they only exist in Transylvania County, there in DuPont Forest in North Carolina. But they're these fireflies, and they glow blue. Like, their lights are, they have this bluish hue. And it was the coolest, weirdest thing. It almost felt like something out of Avatar, you know? Like, it was like, you go into the forest, you go down a little trail, maybe like a 1/10 of a mile, and there was actually a lot of people there. There were a few dozen people, and young, old, everything in between. Everyone had this like reverence there. Like, nobody was talking loud. Everyone was whispering if they were talking to each other, and we were all just lined along this path, and there were a couple park rangers there just kind of just watching everything and giving information. But it was dark, and we would just be waiting and waiting and waiting for maybe 15-20 minutes, and then all of a sudden you see a light in the woods, a little light that flickers, and then another one, and then another one, and then it's like 20 minutes go by, and all of a sudden there are flickering blue lights everywhere in the forest. And gosh, if I could have captured that on film, that would have been an amazing thing to show you guys. But all I can say is that's something to check off your bucket list someday, especially if you're in the South or if you're in North Carolina. Go to DuPont. The fireflies actually only come out May and June. I think that's like their mating season or something, but May and June are the only times you can really see them, and so it was just perfect timing. It was just amazing to cap that off with all the waterfalls and my hiking throughout the day. Like, it was a cool day. It was a fun weekend wandering, and yeah, it was fun. It reminded me a lot of my road trip, and I hope to do stuff like that on a more regular basis. So once again, I hope you guys enjoyed my little journey into whimsical wandering land. Follow along with my journey at thomasmarkzuniga.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at thomasmarkz. I'm also on Facebook, Thomas Mark Zuniga. So I'd appreciate your support. Thanks, guys, for following me along. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate the prayers, support, love. You guys are in my thoughts as well. And until next time, until our next big adventure, here from the road, travel well, guys.